Hey there, welcome to WTMK Live, your holistic health and unconventional foodie destination. Do you love squash? Do you know what squash is? Have you ever tried squash? That's what we're going to talk about today. And I've got lots of really good looking stuff here on my cutting board, so I'm excited to share it all with you. So if you would love to find out about squash, this is exactly where you need to be. And if you know anybody else who might be interested in finding out about squash, make sure you share this video out with them. My name is Colette Wydeck. I am a certified integrative nutrition health coach, and I am super passionate about helping women who are struggling to control their blood sugar, lower their cholesterol, and release the weight. So as you're hopping on with me, please make sure you say hello. And if you have shared out this video, please type in shared so I can give you a super special shout out, because I love being able to share this great nutrition information with as many people as possible. Hey, Deanna, how are you today, sweet girl? We need to catch up. Hey, John, welcome in. Okay, so what is your favorite type of winter squash? How about let's do that? Let's start off with that. Type in the comments what your favorite type of squash is. And maybe you've never really even tried squash. So if you've never tried winter squash, put question mark in the comments, because yes, we do. Hey, Ruth, welcome in. So, you know, squash sometimes can like make you a little bit nervous. Like, what do I do with it? But they're so pretty. So let me show you what I have here. So here on my board, this is, we all pretty much probably know what this is. This is spaghetti squash. And this is a super good alternative to use to make pasta type dishes without the pasta. Does it taste like pasta? No. Is it a direct replacement for pasta? No. But does it taste delicious? Yes. And it's useful for so many things, and we'll talk about that in just a second. In fact, I've actually done some shows about using spaghetti squash before, and I've got some really awesome recipes on my website for it. So you might want to check that out. This is called acorn squash. This is another winter squash. Has like the spaghetti squash has a hard outer rind. But it's super delicious, and we're going to cook this one today, and so you'll be able to see inside. This is a squash that I have yet to try, and I'm super excited to have this today, and we're going to open this up and stick this in the oven as well. This is called delicata squash. So isn't it pretty? Like all these green stripes and orange color. Ooh. Oh, that's great, Deanna. Squash is so super good for you. And this is butternut squash. This is another squash that you probably are pretty much well aware of. And this is like one of my favorite squashes is butternut squash. It is kind of sweet in taste. So if you are trying to cut down on sugar, but you're still trying to control your sugar cravings, adding butternut squash into your daily diet or into your weekly diet is a really good idea, because it is a sweet vegetable, so it will help to control those sugar cravings. So, oh, and also I have an amazing brownie recipe that, believe it or not, uses butternut squash. And there's another squash that I don't have on my board here, that you all know what it is, and that's pumpkin. And that's this time of year, pretty much everything that you cook has pumpkin in it, right? So don't be shy. Go to the store, buy yourself a pumpkin, and get to cooking it. And the way to cook all of these is pretty much the same, with maybe the exception of this butternut squash, because, not butternut, I'm sorry, spaghetti squash. Because this spaghetti squash, it has a particular purpose. So there's really only one way that I know of that is really good to cook the spaghetti squash. And I'll show you again how to do that because I'm excited to get this in the oven and get it prepared. But these other ones, you can prepare them all the same ways, and including pumpkin as well. So the ways that you can cook them are, you can either peel them, cut them up in hunks, and boil them on the stove, or you can cut them in half and you can roast them. You can slice them up, you can hunk them up. One of my favorite things to do is to peel the butternut squash and to cut it up into pieces, and I toss it with a little bit of olive oil and some salt and pepper, and I roast it in the oven, and it's so delicious. And it puts you right in the mind of like a sweet potato, only you don't have as many carbs in squash as you do in potatoes, even sweet potato. So it's super good for you. So and the other thing you could do is you can put it in the oven with a little bit of water. And that's exactly what I'm going to do with this acorn squash, because what I'm going to do after it's cooked is I'm going to scoop out all of the flesh of this squash. And I'm going to make like mashed potatoes with it, and I'm going to put some nice yummy garlic and sauteed garlic and onion and mix that in with it. Oh, yum. So that's going to be a really super good side dish, can take the place of mashed potatoes and be a lot healthier for you. So let's talk about, well, first of all, hello. Hey, Tina, welcome in. So let me just go over, there's like 15 different types of winter squashes. Some of them I've never even heard of. So trust me when I tell you I'm going to start picking up some more of these squashes over this fall and winter, and I'm going to add some really great recipes to my website using them. So stay tuned for that. So the types of winter squash are acorn, which we just talked about, autumn cup, butternut, carnival, pumpkin, Hubbard, spaghetti, turban, amber cup, banana, delicata, gold nugget, kabocha, I think that's how you say it, not sure, and sweet dumpling. Those are the types of winter squashes. So the best way to store these is to place them on top of like a big stack of newspapers in a cool, dark, well-ventilated place. So like maybe in your basement, they would like to be between like 45 and 50 degrees. And if you do that, they will probably stay good for like 6 months. So that's pretty cool to know, right? So you can go to the store. So if they go on sale, you can pick them up, stick them in the basement, and they'll be able to stay good for quite some time. Now, if you cut them open, you could wrap them, you know, like put them in a Ziploc bag or whatever, and they would be okay in the refrigerator for about 5 days before you would have to cook them. So, so that still gives you some time. Also, once they are cooked, you can also freeze them. So this here again, it's a great meal. You can like cook a whole bunch of them all at one time. Fix a big batch of, like, for instance, I'm going to make this acorn squash puree today with garlic and onions and stuff. And if I wanted to, I could cook like a half a dozen of them, which is for sure way more than Richie and I would eat in a day or two. And I could portion it up and freeze it, and I'd have meals in the freezer ready to go. So thinking ahead to like maybe Thanksgiving, you could even make it ahead and have it all ready to go. All you'd have to do on Thanksgiving Day or the day before is take it out of the freezer and let it defrost and warm it up on Thanksgiving Day, and that much of the cooking will already be done for you. So how amazing is that? So the way to pick a really good squash is to pick it up, and if it feels heavy, then that's what you want it to feel heavy for the size that it is. And you want it to be like deep colored. So this is very deep colored, and you want the skin to be free from blemishes. Now, this is a little bit different here. You see this orange spot? This is where the squash was actually laying on the ground, and that's a good thing to see. So, but see the nice dark color. And same thing here with the nice dark green stripes on this delicata squash as well. So squashes are great for, you can puree them, you can roast them, you can put them in soups, you can use them in main dishes, you can make side dishes out of them, you can put them in breads and muffins, pies, pumpkin pies. So pretty much they're very, very versatile in the way that you can cook them. So you just want to wash them, and I've washed all of these ahead of time, and you just want to scoop out like the fiber and the seeds, and then you're ready to go and cook them. So if you're going to cook them on the stove, you want to put a very tiny little bit of water in them, because if you put too much water, first of all, they're going to be like waterlogged, and they're not going to be good, first of all. But second of all, too much water is also going to leach out a lot of the nutrients, and you certainly don't want to do that. Now, here's a really cool tip that I found, and I have yet to try this, but I'm gonna, because one of the, I love to make butternut squash, but it's so hard to peel this sucker. And I saw this hint, and it said that you could microwave it for 3 minutes, and then the peel will come off much easier. So I'm absolutely gonna try that. All it says is just to make sure you stick it with a knife, so that there's, you know, a place for the steam to get out so that it doesn't explode. But I'm absolutely going to try that. That's like super, super great tip. I think I'm going to try it. Hey, Annie, welcome in. So the other thing is that you can cut these into pieces, and you can put some like olive oil on them and some salt and pepper and roast them in the oven. And that's what we're going to do with the delicata. And once they're cooked, you can pretty much do everything with them, or anything really. You can put, you know, mix them with butter and herbs. You can put pretty much any kind of sauce on them. You can even put a little bit of maple syrup, nuts, you know, pretty much anything. They're like we talked about before, they're really super versatile. So let's talk about their nutrition. They're loaded with vitamin A, and vitamin A is really, really important for us. It will help us to have better eye health. So you want to make sure you get lots of vitamin A in your body. And also vitamin A creates vitamin K, which is necessary for bone development and all of that stuff. Also lots of vitamin C, so it helps to boost your immune system. They also have quite a bit of iron. So, and iron is really necessary for healthy cell production. So if you are a woman and, you know, we have those issues of iron, so eating squash, it will help you a lot with that. So squash is also a very high fiber food, so that's awesome. So 1 cup of cooked squash has about 18 grams of carbohydrates, but it also has about 6 grams of fiber. So that's really amazing. So that makes it like 12 net carbs per serving. So you can pretty much fit that into any diet that you're following. And as you've heard me talk about many times before, having a diet that is high in fiber will help to lower your cholesterol and control your blood sugar. And my goodness, Fozzie, he's having a grand old time fussing over there. And they're also gluten-free. So those of you who are gluten sensitive, squash is a great thing to add into your diet. So let's get cooking, shall we? So here we go. So obviously I'm not going to have time to get them out of the oven, but I am going to show you how to cook a couple of them. I'm not going to worry about my butternut squash today, but I do want to get these delicatas in the oven, because these are just so cool, and I can't wait to see what they're like, because like I said, I've never had them before. So I'm just going to cut them in half. Oh, and something else. Delicata, their skin is not quite so hard. So they say that when the delicata squashes are cooked, that you can actually eat the rind. So that's pretty cool, right? Ah, here we go. Oh, this one doesn't look so good. I think I'm not going to cook that one at all. But this one looks amazing. So you can see here, it's got like all this fiber stuff and seeds. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a spoon and we're going to get those out of there. And we're going to make these cute little boots. See, just like that. And then what I want to do is I'm going to cut these into some pieces here. And let's see, let's cut them in half again. And do this. And then I think I'm going to do, I think I'll just do this. And like this. All right, now I'm going to put them here on my tray. I have my oven heating up at 350 degrees. And I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil here. And we're going to just mix these up a little. And you know what? I'm going to actually put these so that we got some of this on the parchment paper here so that they kind of get browned up a little bit. I think that would be fun. And then I'm gonna wipe my hands off here. And let's sprinkle these with just a little bit of salt and a little bit of fresh ground black pepper. And in the oven they go. Yay. Now, we're going to cook this acorn squash. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top off of this sucker here. These are so hard. Just be careful when you're doing that. And let's get our spoon. Let's see. Maybe I didn't cut far enough down. Let's see. Yeah, we don't have very far to go. I think I didn't cut quite far enough because I'm right into the seeds here. Yeah, there they are. Oh, something else I saw on Pinterest, and that is if you cut slices of the acorn squash and you put them on, you cook them like for 20 minutes in the oven, and then flip them over, crack an egg into them, and then put them back in the oven. You have, you know, the egg, the bird's nest there, but it's not with toast or anything like that that's going to be unhealthy for you. It's going to be with the squash. So I'm super going to try that because that really looked interesting and fun to me. So we're going to get these. Let's see here. We can get a little closer so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just getting the seeds out. because after this cooks, I'm going to scoop out all of this other flesh, and then I'm going to puree it with garlic and onion. So let me just make this opening a little bit bigger. Get this stuff out of there. All right. Okay, so there you go. So you can see it's just all hollowed out now. And I'm going to stick it into this pan right here. I didn't put salt, pepper, olive oil, nothing. I'm going to put it right in this little dish. And I'm going to put just a little bit of water in the bottom here to help it to cook good. And that's how we're going to cook this. And you just put it in your oven at like 350, and you're going to cook it until you can stick a knife very easily right through the skin, so that way it's nice and soft, and then it's ready. You just take it out of the oven and let it cool, and that's it. So let's go over the spaghetti squash, because I do want to get this one in the oven as well. Oh, this thing is so hard to do. Scared Simba. Of course, it would help if my knife was really sharp, but that's okay. We got it. There. Okay. So there's the spaghetti squash. Let's get this thing. You can see here again, it's got all these seeds and all this flesh, and we're just going to take that right out. And the one thing that I really like to do with spaghetti squash is we love hash browns. Like, who doesn't love hash browns for breakfast? But potatoes are so not good for you. So what I do is I cook up my spaghetti squash, and then I use the spaghetti squash and I make hash browns, and they are so delicious. You can just do them right on your stove top, and they actually do come out tasting almost like potato hash browns, because I love to put, like, I cook them with some olive oil and some thyme. I love to put thyme in potatoes. I think that thyme really enhances the taste of potato. So I do the same thing with the spaghetti squash, and it's delicious. So I don't care for tomato sauce on spaghetti squash, but I do love, you know, like an olive oil, you know, like an oil and garlic type of sauce on spaghetti squash. That's delicious. But, you know, everybody's taste is different. You may really love spaghetti squash with tomato sauce. Everybody's different. Okay, so that's how you get ready to fix it. Now I have my pan right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take, this is a little bit of olive oil here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil on here. I'm going to flip this over upside down. Just like that. And then in the oven it's going to go. And here again, it is going to bake. It takes about 30 to 40 minutes, and then it'll be ready to go. Hey, Raymond. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Jeannie. Hey, Ann. Oh, I think I said hello to you, Annie. Well, welcome in again. So that is, that's the show for today. I hope you guys got some great information, and I want to know, which of these yummy squashes are you going to prepare this week and try? Something new, one that you haven't tried before. And so I'd love to know that. Put that in the comments, which one of these yummy squashes that you will be trying this week. And give me the recipe that you used to make them. So I do have some recipes on my website for the spaghetti squash and for the butternut squash. And something else I'm going to do with butternut squash is I'm going to make soup with it this year. So watch out for that, because that's going to be yummy. Butternut squash is delish. So I hope you guys are having a great Thursday. I hope you have a great weekend planned. I will see you right back here next Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, here's to your health. Bye-bye.